Some personal renovations should really remain private. I'll tell you what I mean by that and get into the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending June 14th, 2023. If you get value from this video, consider subscribing. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, we've made it really simple. Below this video in the description is a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. So here's what's happened. About a year ago, we, with our buyer clients, were touring this house, and in the primary bedroom, on one side where the ensuite should be, part of that wall was glass. And directly behind the glass, and you could, it's a glass wall, floor to ceiling, you could see right in, was the toilet. I don't know what these people were thinking. A lot of this house was renovated. This renovation was done for that. Now, to each their own, but it's not a lot of buyers that are going to be excited about being in their primary bedroom and seeing their spouse on the toilet. But that was that house. The reason I'm bringing this up, because I believe I did talk about it at some point last year, something similar happened again just last week with our buyer clients. We go into this house. The description on the listing was tons of renovations have been done. The photos, beautiful. You could see lots of renovations were done. And this is what my clients were looking for. And so they were excited to see this house. So was I. We go in, we're touring the first floor. Beautiful, lots of great renovations done. We go upstairs, excuse me, we go upstairs to the primary bedroom. Things are looking great, coffered ceiling, it's looking really nice. We turn to where the ensuite should be. Floor to ceiling, clear glass, half the wall, clear glass. There's a monster shower that you're looking into, but the shower is all glass. So there's the wall of the primary bedroom. There's the other wall of the shower, it's glass. And on the other side of that is the toilet. So you're staring into a toilet with a shower in between, but it's all glass walls, so it's like you're staring at the toilet. And never mind even that, just the fact that, I don't know. Look, oftentimes when I'm with buyers and we're looking at houses, and my clients will often comment on a renovation that they don't like. And they say, well, why would they do it like this? And why did they do that? And my default response is normally, you know, people renovate and update their home according to their own personal taste and their own personal lifestyle and the way they live. And that could be fixed, that could be changed, and you adapt the house to the way you live. And that, in almost all cases, it's true. But if you're on the other side of the transaction, if you're an agent representing the seller, when I'm selling a property and there's certain renovations that have been done that I know are not going to appeal to the masses, it's my duty as a listing agent to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I get that you love this type of renovations, but I gotta tell you, it's going to be a negative. So the options are, we do nothing and see what happens, or we adjust the price accordingly because people are going to undo what you did there, or you could fix it now so it's not even an issue. And usually the let's change it or fix it now is way cheaper than adjusting the price to accommodate for that. The way you live may not be the way most people live, which that's fine, live how you want, but the minute you're going public and want to sell, and I'm assuming like most sellers you want to optimize the sale, you got to be prepared that maybe the way you live is not the way everybody lives, and you got to adapt. And the whole point of being on the market is to appeal to the masses and to, in a sense, also at the same time target those people that will like what you do. But if the way you live is a little unique, you might have some challenges there. That's what I want to share with you today. Let's get into the numbers. Two weeks ago, the Bank of Canada increased the interest rates. We're already seeing a little bit of turmoil in the markets because of that. And most of it is psychological. Most of it is the buyer sentiment. Some buyers that are not pre-approved, which is silly to not be pre-approved, but some buyers that are not pre-approved, what they were looking at as far as the type of home they wanted to buy for the budget, well, the rate hike has changed that, so they've kind of pulled back and they got to reevaluate. Other buyers that are pre-approved have their rate locked in for so much time, but they're thinking, hey, the interest rate hike is going to cost sellers to bring their prices down because affordability is that much more difficult. And they're thinking, let me just back off a little bit. Let me see what happens in the market. Let's see if prices come down. I mean, think about it. If you're a buyer and you totally know and believe prices are coming down, why wouldn't you wait? The real question is, what's going to happen? Because we've seen buyers waiting and prices don't go down, they go up. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know there's turmoil in the market because of these rate hikes. Let me show you what's going on here. I have Vaughan on the board. This is for numbers here are for detached properties only, broken down by week for a whole year. 29 detached properties were sold. 29 is extremely low. Sales came way down, and we know a bunch of that is because buyers kind of pulled back and said, let's see what happens. So 29 detached properties were sold. 12 of those were at $2 million or more. So the fact that the luxury properties, those sales didn't come down, they actually increased, kind of goes to show you that the buyers in the luxury space, they're not as affected from the rate hikes as, say, other people are. So the previous week, 11 were sold at $2 million or more, which is 28% of all sales. The week we're talking about that we're in now, week ending June 14th, 41% of the properties sold at $2 million or more. Naturally, average sold price because of that is going to skyrocket, and we're sitting at $1,993,000, almost $2 million bucks, which is 27% higher than our low point of September last year. 27% is $421,000. And I know there are buyers that were thinking of buying here that said no, because prices were coming down. I'm waiting for them to get lower. And if they're still waiting, well, currently we're $421,000 on average higher than our low point. I'm not saying they're not coming back down. I'm just saying this is where we are at this point in time right now. Compared to last year, 1993 is 22% higher than where we were a year ago. The median price, 11% higher than where we were a year ago. And you know, when we monitor things like the data like this on a weekly basis, we're going to get our peaks and valleys. So we put in this dotted line, which is a 4-week moving average. It makes it easier to spot a trend. And when we kind of look at things and we go back for 3 months, we could see that average prices and median prices have been trending up over the last 2-3 months, but not so aggressively. And it's taken a dip. And this 1 week, where average prices are way up and median prices way up, we really got to see what happens over the next few weeks to see how that plays out, to see what trend we're on. Of the 29 that sold, 62% sold at list price or more. Active listings is trending up. The more and more properties we see on the market, the more choices buyers will have. If that trend continues, we should see the other effect of that, of prices starting to come down a little bit. Months of inventory is really climbing aggressively, now sitting at 2.1 months of inventory. Here's Richmond Hill. 25 detached properties were sold. Average sold price came down to $2,006,000. Imagine an average sold price, $2,006,000. Compared to our low point in June, that's 20% higher than our lowest point, which is about $331,000. Compared to last year, $2,006,000 is 15% higher than where we were this time last year, and the median price is 11% higher. Both over the last month and a half have been trending up, both prices. Of the 25 that sold, 60% sold at list price or more. Active listings is climbing. We're seeing more properties to choose from. It's not climbing aggressively, but it's starting to climb. Months of inventory came down from the previous week, sitting at 2 months of inventory. And at 2 months, I mean, we can say it's come down, but it's higher than what we've had in a long time now. So we're starting to see properties in Richmond Hill sitting out there longer. Here's Markham. Markham, for the longest time, was top of the world. Sales were really, really strong in Markham. Sales last week for June 14th came way down to 26 sales. That's extremely low. Average sold price came down to $1,830,000. The amount of properties selling at $2 million or more is really it's 12, but it's on par with some of the better weeks that we've had out there. Compared to our lowest point of September, the current average sold price of $1,830,000 is 8% higher than where we were at our low point last year. 8% is about $133,000. $1,837,000 is 7% higher than the average sold price a year ago at this time. The median price is 15% higher, and both have been increasing, but kind of flat, or maybe even coming down a little bit over the last 6 weeks. Of the 26 that sold, 69% sold at list price or more. We were in the 80s, 70s, and then 80s, and we stayed at 80s for about a month and a half, and now the property selling at list price or more, that percentage is trending down. Active listings is trending up, and months of inventory trending up. We're sitting at 2 months of inventory. Those are the detached properties. Let's look at condos. Now this is for all of York Region. 44 condos were sold. One was at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $721,000, which is a little bit higher than our low, which was July last year, of $688,000. $721,000 is 5% lower than where we were this time last year. Median price is 4% lower. Look at the trend here. For the last 2 months, median and average price, kind of flat. It hasn't really changed that much. Of the 44 that sold, 48% sold at list price or more, and that percentage has been trending down. Listings are up. 117 were listed. Active listings, very, very slightly, is trending upwards, and months of inventory stayed the same as the previous week at 1.9 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. We're getting close to a balanced market. The characteristics of a balanced market, it's kind of in the name. It's balanced. You could negotiate at some properties. You've got time to put conditions and inspect and go back for a second showing. Prices generally stay flat. There's fluctuations up and down, but nothing like what we've experienced, really low seller's market, where you have no time to really see the property. You definitely have no time to go back a second time. Conditions are something that nobody talks about. Balanced market is really where we'd all kind of like to be. Let's see if we actually reach a balanced market. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.